So I'm going to share with you today something that I've watched over and over, probably 10-15 times now. Had a swim lesson yesterday and got the teacher to record me doing a length. This was after I'd already done 300 metres or so. And what I've done is I'm comparing it with the recording that I took 9 weeks ago, that I think I showed you when I was talking about my breathing, trying to work out whether things have changed or where you can see things change. Must admit that my first watch I thought, I haven't improved at all. It's a similar sort of speed, similar number of strokes, but actually there are things that I know about how my swimming has changed that I can see in the difference, even though I suspect you'll watch it and think there's been no change. First thing is that this is where I'm now breathing on every other stroke on the one side, whereas 9 weeks ago I was still doing my breathing every 3 strokes. And you might think it looks like it's slightly more awkward, and there is something about asymmetry in when you're swimming that way that I think I'm going to have to look at longer term. But actually this is something that fits with how my breathing is better, how I feel better. I think one thing you probably can tell that's different if you watch closely is that in the video 9 weeks ago, my breathing, you can probably tell I'm a bit more panicked because of the way my head is really shooting round and mostly looks like I'm kind of looking very high up. And you can tell, I think, on the more recent video that I have I'm not coming up as high, not whipping round as much, and that matches how I'm actually feeling in the water. When I'm swimming in the recent video, I know that I feel better. When I was swimming back then, I know I got to the end of that length, felt exhausted and was panicking towards the end of it, whereas there was no panic at all at this point. And that matches the reality of how my swimming is a bit different now, even if it doesn't necessarily look it. My legs are still pretty much the same, I think, as they were before, in terms of lots of kicking, still quite bent at the knees, and I know that's something I need to work on more. I haven't been focusing on that over recent weeks, and so I think it's got lost a bit. But that's fine, I can only do a few things at a time. But actually I do think I'm noticing that in the more recent video you can tell my body is a lot more stable through the water, far less kind of rocking and rolling, which I think you'll notice in the older video. And I think that explains why, although it looks like a similar number of strokes and a similar sort of time, actually I'm coming to the end of these lengths feeling a lot better. Have a watch, see what you think. I'll do a little bit of narration while we're going. So look first at this video at the top and watch how much that head comes round, and now see at the bottom when my head's coming round there, it's far more sideways on. And I think again, if you look at the top there, you can see my body really kind of like swinging around a lot more, while at the bottom it feels a lot more stable through the water. The thing I noticed that I most need to improve at the bottom there is the way that the right hand kind of like shoots in, but the left one kind of slaps down more. There's less power there, so that's probably the next thing. There we go. So good to see some progress, lots of progress still to make, and maybe I'll do this again in a few months. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like that video and want to hear more about my story over the coming years, please make sure that you hit subscribe on the channel so that the videos will always appear in your feed.